You see the dead branch on the top. To the right one, this marula in front of us. You see there's one branch that's dead, the lower one on the right hand side. There we go. Hello, little woodpecker. Oh, his head is all the way in there. Ah, flown away. Good to see a little one. Good job, because they're not very easy to find. Huh. Alright, well, good to see that you are in there, and that is one of the dead branches of the marula. So it's probably quite hollow inside, and he's either busy looking for food or maybe trying to create another hole. Although at this time of the year, it wouldn't really be doing much of that. But I don't know if you guys saw it when he popped his head inside. Maybe it was like, ooh, nothing here. David and Napa, you're wondering if the local birds would stay in the area that they were born in. Roughly the same area, but just like with all of the other animals, birds are territorial, so they tend to push away, or the older birds tend to push away any bird that is a potential competitor for them in terms of that they might eat the food that they're eating, they use the water, the nesting material, and obviously access to potential mates. So they won't sometimes go all too far from where they were actually hatched. Obviously this depends on size. The bigger the animal, the bigger they will be pushed away from where they were hatched. But I suppose you can find them not too far. With some species of eagle though, I know that they get pushed quite far from where they are, and it's one of the reasons why it takes them so long to get their adult colors, just because they are going, it's a very territorial world, the bird world. So it'll take them a lot longer to get their colors, just to give them a bit of a chance of learning how to be adults, pretty much. And then the territorial birds will not go for them. Alright, I'm gonna go all the way down to Treehouse Dam, but in the meantime, let's go over to Taylor and see what she found.
Hippos! We got very excited. We decided, seeing as though the lions are sitting just near Tamboti Dam, so probably not more than about 150 meters off of the boundary, we thought, well, let's come back to our trusty old Buffelshoek Dam where we know that there are hippos. But we arrived and we panicked because there were no hippos. They were both underneath the water. So we thought, my goodness, what was happening today? But luckily, the two of them popped their heads up. And it looks like a female and a male. I think it's the female on the left. And then the male has got a much larger head. And as we talk about her, she disappears. So I think it's just the two of them in here. Whether it's the same male hippo that we have been seeing, I'm not 100% certain. But I think that they're getting ready to end their day now. I think that they're probably going to have a nice sleep. The sun is warming the earth up. It's actually quite nice. The gloves have come off, that I can tell you. So I'm sure that that sun feels absolutely beautiful on the hippo's face. But I'm still waiting to see our hippos out and basking in the sun on these chilly winter mornings. I think that that would be a more effective way to warm yourself up, especially now. I'd just go out, find a little spot, lay down, roll over, and have a good siesta for most of the day. I think I'd be the laziest hippo if I was a hippo, but a great time. And I can't believe how much water is still in Buffelshoek Dam. It's really, really quite nice. I was getting a little bit worried at one point. I thought that it was going to disappear quite quickly. It is subsiding, but just at a very, very slow rate. That's going to change, though. Once we get the big herds of animals coming through, you won't believe how much water a herd of 100 buffalo can drink in one day. Not even once, sometimes even twice a day, in the morning and the evenings. And then we will start to see the levels of the watering holes drop down a significant amount. But for now, hippos, you are safe. You have this entire sort of lake to yourself. Not a lake, of course, it's a dam. But I think Lake Buffelshoek and Lake Chitwa just sounds so much better than calling them dams. Right, who else have we got around here? The heron is obviously not here. The heron is at WildEarthTV Dam. I'm now sure it's the same one that just keeps moving between the two watering holes. Can we see any? No, the birds are actually few and far between. I have found some birds. There's one running across the road. Let's see if it doesn't fly away, though. It looks like a red-billed hornbill. Just on the other side, disappearing. There it goes. Looking for something to eat. There were also some Burchell starlings that were moving around and pecking through all of the elephant dung that's around here. Where's your mate? Why are you on your own? Now, typically they're not all on their own. Normally there's two of them around, of the hornbill species. They are monogamous. Found anyone looking for breakfast? And they just look so grumpy all the time. I know we talk about this often, but I think if you had to ask me what are the two grumpiest animals we have out in the bush, I would have to say, not necessarily grumpy as in temperament, but just facial expressions. It has to be all the hornbills, as well as the buffalo. Oh, there we go. You got something to eat. Now, wouldn't it be great if we got to see this hornbill catch a scorpion like we did in the pre-show yesterday? That was an amazing sighting. It was really cool. I wish we had started the main show. It was quite nice, but I did snap some pictures of that. And hornbill, I don't know if you'll maybe find a scorpion at this time of the day, unless you go pecking under some bark. But they're very careful. Look at that. See the way that it peers over the tops of the grass, just looking in to see if there's any grasshoppers or any praying mantis sitting just on the side. No, nothing else just yet. Hopping around. It's going to do that for pretty much most of the day. Perhaps when it gets a little bit hotter, it may find a nice shady tree to sit under. So there's lots of jackalberries. There's even lots of tambuerties here. They've got all their leaves on still, so it will provide a nice shady spot. I don't know if it's going to get exceptionally hot today. I think it's going to be a cooler day again. But at least we do have some sun now. Right, should we move up a little bit forward and see which other birds we can find? I can see quite a few of them. Hi hippos, enjoy your sleep. There's some crested frankens moving around that side as well as a whole lot of starlings. So let's go around there. But first, I can see a banded plover. See if it's going to stay, if it's going to fly away. We'll go in very quietly. It's just running in the middle of the road now. Oh no! There it goes. You can hear it calling. It's just flying here. It just flew and down next to us. I don't think we'll be able to see it with all those branches. That's okay. Let's go find the...
Oh, well, welcome back. Sorry, Meg's caught me a little bit by surprise there. But we're still with this incredible pride of lions. Now, there's been an interesting altercation. The male chased one of the females when she went to go say hello to him. He's not too far from her now, but it was quite interesting. Oh, cub, climbing buffalo. It's a buffalo jungle gym this morning. Oh, apologies for what happened at Djuma. We are live from the bush, and we never like to go to Tech Loop, and we were on Facebook, so sorry about that, but you're back with us live in Kenya, in the Masai Mara, and we're with the Sausage Tree Pride, or the Sausage Pride as they are called, and well, not all of them, with 2 out of 6 lionesses. Oh, and that cub's going for a walk towards the male. I'm just going to move the vehicle so we can see if anything happens there. Darby, tell me when you can see the male. Alright. Okay, there he is. Okay, I've got him. So we just want to see how this plays out. Now, he chased the female quite a distance a little bit earlier. Now, the male lions are generally more tolerant to the cubs, but sometimes not so much. So you can see her, and then you can see him just to the right. There he is. Now, the cub should be coming in from the right, somewhere around there. There, I think there we go. Wow, wasn't that incredible? It just gave Dad a couple of good swats to the face. And as I said, you can see the males are quite a lot more tolerant to the cubs. I mean, with that female, he chased her a good 50 meters. Unfortunately, it is happening in quite long grass. But it's been an absolutely spectacular day here in the Mara. And we found those females bringing the cubs off the mountain early. Oh! Are the cubs heading back towards the male again, Dave? Daniel's wondering, where are all the vultures? Well, Daniel, they're around. It's a bit chilly still for them to be up. And if this male was particularly aggressive with the vultures, oh, you can just see, oh, there's the cub. He's decided, no, Dad's boring. He's back to Mom. But if this lion had been particularly aggressive with the vultures, there are quite a few carcasses around. Remember, there's that hippo that the hyenas have been feeding off. So they're not so pushed for food at the moment. So I'm sure by this afternoon there should be a couple of them here. And there's the naughty one is heading back towards the carcass. Well, naughty, playful. Remember, hashtag Safari Live if you've got any questions for us. Now, we might move around to where that male is just now. I still don't have ID photos of him. Everything outdoors is wondering, do I think hyenas would be brave enough to try to take out one of the lion cubs? Well, it all depends on the situation, but hyenas do take little lion cubs, but normally when they're not with the adults. And it also depends on, especially around a carcass like this, how many hyenas are called into action. And at the moment we've only seen one in the distance, and I think the average rule according to the hyena research is it takes 5 hyenas for a lioness to chase a lioness off. So we've got 2 lionesses, so we need 10 hyenas, and the 7 to 8 for an adult male. So you need probably 20 hyenas before they would consider charging in and taking over this carcass. Now, in that situation, they'd probably be far more interested in taking over the carcass for the free meal than they would be at actually going for the lion cubs. So again, it all depends on each situation and scenario, and every situation scenario is different. Rick is wondering whether these cubs would still have their milk teeth. Indeed they would, Rick, and the little ones most definitely, and there we go, putting those milk teeth to good use. And even in the bigger ones might only start losing those milk teeth in the next little while. Now, those cubs are quite full when we saw them, so well, they are lions, and lions are gluttons, and they will eat when it's available. Oh, big boy's up. Smelling some urine. Elizabeth is wondering, will lions kill bigger prey in order to feed all the cubs? Well, Elizabeth, they not necessarily. It all depends, again, on the area. And if you're killing 4 warthog a day, you don't need to kill something big, because there's enough in 4 warthog a day to keep everyone well fed. But if you're killing 1 warthog, not so much. But it seems to be that the males focus on buffalo here. The females that we've seen so far don't really hunt buffalo. I've only seen the Paradise Pride females on a buffalo kill without a male. But again, even the individual prides around here, depending on where their territories lie, will have different prey preference species. And of course, once the wildebeest and zebra arrive, the closest member of the migration and the easiest one to catch is what's going to be the favored prey. So I'm not sure who this male is or which coalition he belongs to. I think he could be from the same coalition that lords over the Angama and Olololo prides, but I'm going to have to get some close-up ID photos of him. So someone told me it was the half-tailed male might be here, but that's definitely not the half-tailed male. He's got a full tail, but he could very well easily be part of the half-tailed male's coalition. Alison would like to know, is there potential of the fly eggs making the lions sick? Most definitely not, Alison. I think those lions have probably eaten more maggots and more flies than you've seen, and the eggs as well. It's just another source of protein. They won't actively look for it, but you must remember those flies are laying their eggs all over the meat there, and the lions will eat it, and it has no adverse effect on them at all. There's a couple of different species of fly there, some blowflies, carrion flies. You can see the blowflies, those metallic ones. Those are the ones that make that big buzz when disturbed. Well, here come the male and the female again. Hopefully he gets close so that I can get a nice front-on ID shot of him. Is he going to follow the lady, or is he going to come back to the carcass? He looks in two minds. Looks that way, looks this way. Carcass, it seems, is the winner. Now, oh no, another forlorn look. Oh no, he's changed his mind. I can't see. Can you still see her? She flopped down in the grass. It's just, these vistas from up here are absolutely magical. Now it still looks like he might come back towards us here. Oh, there she is. Let's see, this could be another very interesting. And she seems to be trying to placate him. She shows quite a lot of submission to him, but he just doesn't seem in the mood for loving, or being, sorry, not loving, because I think she's definitely got cubs, so not too interested in mating, but even just for being friendly, this big boy. Although, as I say that, he's been very nice to the cubs. Might go for another drink of water. Now, Lara's wondering, are there any prides that are associated with single males? Let me just turn around. I need to try and get close to him. Single males. Not that I've seen here. All the lion prides we've seen so far have had coalitions of males that have been... Oh, that's a big... Oh, hold on. You okay, Dav? And here he comes, bump. Okay. Now you've always got to be careful around here. As you can see, there's lots of mud and whatnot. And this would be a very unideal place to get stuck. So he just stopped for a little drink. I'm just going to see where he goes. Probably going to go flop down in the shade just over there. Oh, Oh, trouble. Looks like he wants to cause trouble with Dad again. Mr. Scotto would like to know, does this lion have a name? I'm George. No, I'm joking. It probably does. We're just not sure of it yet. We're still trying to gather all that information and collaborate it and figure out exactly what's going on here. Everyone's coming for a wonder. Oh, can you hear the little ones? Ow! Ow! Oh, yeah. He's going to head for the shade, and it looks like one of the cubs is going to head straight towards him. I'm just going to let them pass so we can get a bit closer. Oh, little one's about to cross the water. Oh, Trouble's made his way to Dad. Julie would like to know why are baby lions called cubs and not kittens. I think it's to do with the size, Julie. Though I think well, lion, leopard, cheetah, jaguar, cougar. What am I missing? Snow leopard, clouded leopard. All referred to cubs, and then your smaller cat species are referred to as kittens. Caracal, serval. Oh. Oh. Those two older cubs don't like giving up. They think harassing Dad is good fun. There's more. What? Can I hear more lions? Just give me a second. I think I can hear more lions. I just want to have it. Sorry, am I going to be in the way, Dave? I thought I heard more lions up the hill behind us. As I said, this isn't the full pride yet. It could just be the wind playing some tricks on me. I think it was the wind. Little ones have decided that Mom called, and I think she doesn't want them tussling with Dad till they're a bit bigger, and a swat won't be fatal. And here come the troublesome two down the road, back away from harassing Dad. You two naughty ones. Thirsty. Stop for a drink. Oh, don't push him in. Oh, I thought we might get a wet line. Tossed into the puddle. Oh, tails in the puddle. Now, I can't see if she's... I'm sure I heard another lion somewhere above us, and I can hear the female calling. I mean, she could just be calling to the cubs, but there could be... We know at least of another 3 lionesses with 5 cubs, quite a lot older from this pride that we've seen. And so that would mean there's 1 lioness missing as well. But of course, in these areas where there is so much food, the prides sometimes are a little bit more loosely based. Oh, trouble. Little monsters. Janine is wondering, how far is this from our camp? It's quite far, Janine, probably a good 7 or 8 kilometers. So we are below the Ololo escarpment, but our camp is... Oh, Darby, can you show there? You can see South Camp and Gama. Just. And our camp is on the other side of that.
down there.
Yeah, but now our camp is probably another couple of 100 meters beyond that, on the other side of that peninsula. Okay, I'm going to see if we can get a bit closer to Dad, because I do need a shot of his face. Oh, but quickly, just look at the flies on her nose. Oh, these lions really have mastered the art of Zen with that amount of flies on them. Hello. Very happy family, lots of meat around. I'm very talkative at the moment, so I'm going to keep quiet for a bit. Lots of fun and games going on. Ideal spot, you know, in water, buffalo, the odd fly egg and maggot. What more could a lion need? Okay, Dad's head's up. I want to go get a picture of him quickly. We're going to have to sneak up closer to this big male lion quickly, so we can have a quick look at his face. I'm sure you guys would like some screenshots of it as well, as much as I need my high-res photograph. Hello, big boy. Now, if he's missing a bottom left canine, he is. I do know who it is. Hello, Fang. So that's what the Ngama guides call him. Fang, he's bottom right canine, sorry. Which he is missing, and that has earned him the nickname Fang. Okay, just get the spot pattern there. Now, Fang is taking advantage of a wonderful Balanites tree to rest up in, and it sounds like Ali has found signal and a tree.
We're just looking at the tree. Alright, yes. We have managed to find some signal, and we are very happy about it because it's been... Hello! Morning again! Good, thanks! So, we've managed to find some signal. Apologies about that. I'm not too sure what's happening. Maybe, you know, now that we've had a bit of overcast days and the gremlins have come back with a vengeance, but I am sure we will win eventually. Just more on the good news side of things. We have heard that the male we saw this morning, he ended up going all the way and did a very big loop all the way to Little Gowrie, but crossed the road very quickly. But he's now reunited with 2 of his brothers, so we know where 3 of them are, which is always a good thing. I wonder if perhaps the other 2 are with the rest of the Nkuhumas and Buffelshoek. But I want to tell you guys about this very beautiful dusty tree. So we see it a lot around here, and it's got so many medicinal uses that it's just one of those trees that you can pretty much make anything out of it. So it's called a giant bush willow, and is related to the leadwoods and to the red bush willows and the red bush willows, but called the giant bush willow because you can see the leaves are way longer than this one, and also the pods are probably about this big. So they're actually quite big and pretty, and they're quite common all around here, which this particular tree, we don't find it so easily further down in the Sabi Sap. But I want to see if maybe there's a bit of a pod around here. There was a little Franklin moving around, so I don't know if I'm going to scare it off. I can't see it anywhere else now. But this particular tree is very important in the local cultures. They, like I was saying, they use it for pretty much anything. So they will use the bark and the leaves to treat stomach problems, diabetes, diarrhea, menstrual cramps. What else do they use for? problems. So it's all a bit tricky, and obviously we only see a few different things of how they use it, but they tend to, let me just plug myself in because I think I'm gonna get all tangled up. In general, all of the traditional doctors or the people that know how to use these medicines traditionally, it'll always be a combination of things. So they will have to either burn the leaves and then use the ashes and mix it with oil or something else to drink, or they will use, for example, just a bit of the bark, and then they will put it in some hot water and drink it. So we can only scratch, let's say, the surface of what the traditional knowledge has actually achieved, because you can imagine for some people and for hundreds of years there was no access to the modern medicines that we have now. So everything that we see in nature, that's everything that was always used to try and cure pretty much anything. These trees also quite useful in the fact that the wood is not as hard as the one, for example, of a leadwood, and it's a bit more flexible, so they use it to make crates and fish traps. So a very good tree to have around. Altogether, will cure anything, will help you get food. What else can you ask for? And it's pretty. And we see it a lot driving around here, especially close to the roads. So I thought maybe it was one of the other ones, now that we've been covering the ones that are close to the roads that we see often. This particular one, the giant bush willow. And it grows in such a funny looking way, doesn't it? Like, you know, like almost like a triangle, all of them. Very bushy. But we're going to leave this tree here. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. But we are going to carry on looking for creatures. Let's go over to Taylor, who has managed to find and lose a kudu.
We did, but we did lose the kudu, but they've turned into impala now, and I've parked right in front of an African wattle, so they're all moving around them. But we've also picked up on that herd of elephants we had yesterday. However, they've moved into the thick stuff. So I'm hoping that if we just go back down the road which we've just come from, some of them might be coming out from the other side and on towards the road. So that's what we're going to try in just a minute. And it is quite a large herd, but they're going straight back down into the drainage lines again to feed for most of the day, and I think that the impala are on their way there too. We'll start to see a lot of animals feasting and quite close to the drainage system, so we're going to have to go back to checking, starting off drive and checking around Chelepan, Twin Dams, Inyala Road, North and South, Buffelshoek Dam, all those areas, because that's where the water is, and also that's where the greenest food is going to be. So our chances of then finding animals will hopefully be a lot better. But we're sort of in that buffer stage at the moment where we're not too sure, but it's just so difficult to see the animals just off of the road because the grass is so long. But every single day it's getting shorter and shorter. And Sebastian's wife, actually, Shannon, she says, because she comes and visits on the weekends, she always says every time she comes here, every weekend, she can see how the grass has deteriorated quite significantly. Now, it's nice to have an outsider's opinion, someone that's not living on the property all the time, because they're able to see the changes a lot more drastically than what I can or than what we can. So what we might actually go and do is, I think, if we can't pick up on these elephants, perhaps we're going to head back towards quarantine. And I think we're going to have to compare the grass and our normal spot near the fireside chat area and see what it's looked like and how it's sort of deteriorated over the last few months. How does that sound? So maybe you can start looking now, start searching for some of your old screenshots from quarantine. We do have a particular spot, of course, and maybe start putting them into an order with all the months, and then we'll get the latest shot from today, and then hopefully, especially for the new viewers, because we get to see it all the time, they'll be able to see how drastic the change really is. We'll have to start doing those things again. Right, sorry Impala, right, let's give these Ellies one more bash. Let's go back down Central again. I reckon if we come here this afternoon, we're either going to find them around Quarry Pan Road, probably heading towards Buffelshoek Dam, or back on Central. Oh, who's just flew there? I think that was an African hawk eagle. So here's the African hawk eagle nest. That big nest that's just up at the top of the tree, just in the I'm trying to think where they went now. I saw one fly away, so there it is. Whether they've got little chicks, I'm not sure just yet. I can't see anything moving around in there. No, but there might be some eggs in there. And James, you're actually wanting me to visit the nest. Well, we're here. I think I did see one of the adults just fly off just a moment ago. So we can also check here this afternoon, because I'm definitely going to come back to the spot. There seems to be an abundance of life around these areas, but no one's home just yet. Okay, well, let's carry on. Let's get these ellies quickly. Maybe even if we see a bum disappearing into the distance, that'll still be nice, just to have one elephant on safari. Okay, bye, Impala. Careful, there's lions all over the show. Right. Seems like I don't know if they said the Torchwood Pride was also found, which is quite nice. But the lions are slowly honing in on Djuma again, and I don't think it'll be long before they start taking down buffalo after buffalo and will remain on the property. That's what's so exciting about the winter months. Summer is always very tough. Summer, I suppose, if you want to come on safari, summer's really nice. Maybe not for your first time. Come after you've come 3 or 4 times and you want to see all the beautiful birds and also all the nice flowers and the sort of green grass and the scenery, that type of thing. But when you first come on your first time safari, it's important that you come when you're going to have good game viewing, because that's of course what everybody's interested right in the beginning. And as you go on more than one, you start to realize that there's so much more about the bush, and you maybe aren't so worried if you don't get to see a lion or an elephant or something like that, but rather to see some of the migratory birds. And then again, you've seen all the beautiful flowers that we pick and we look under the microscope and that type of thing, to see them firsthand and to be actually able to smell the flowers and the grass and all the different scents out here. I think summer is probably the best month to do so for that. So I suppose every season has got its good things. Right, let's just check very carefully, because these grey elephants are still quite thick in here. They can disappear. There are a couple scattered out and about and around here, not too far away. Maybe we get like a young bull like we sort of had yesterday afternoon, just lingering at the back of the herd. There's an elephant, yay, and it's coming this way. Thank you. Thank you so much, elephant, because I thought you guys were disappearing. You were going the complete opposite direction. Ooh, the crowd goes wild in Final Control. Now we've just got to find a gap. I see lots of little elephants, and they've changed direction again. Fantastic. Okay, now I've got to find a gap. There was, and there's one. Maybe we'll just watch the tops of them as they move through here. I promise we'll spend a bit of time and we'll try and navigate and of course see if we can find them. There's another little elephant. There it is. There they go. There's one, and there's an even smaller one in front of that, just to the left of it. So there they are, moving just through the thickets. So that was 4 elephants that we've seen now. Here comes the 4th one at the back. And there's a whole lot more on their way down to the drainage systems. Woohoo! Finally! Hey, Seb? Yes. Sure. I think other than the impala, we saw a squirrel, and the squirrel ran away from us, but it was sitting up in a nice tree. It was actually quite pretty, but we weren't quick enough. Oh, there's a little one we can watch. I think the camera can actually see over the top of this. Hey, there we go. It's perfect. Thank goodness for the extra height that we have on these cameras. But there's a little elephant, a youngster again. Doesn't look like an adult from this distance, hiding behind some of those shrubs, just feeding about. Off you go. You're also going to catch up with the rest of the herd now. It's that massive herd, and I did just hear sounds like they might be drinking water. I thought I heard the slurp that an elephant makes when it sucks up water into its trunk. Come, little elephant, come closer. Let me go forward. I think we're going to get it back. Little gap here. More. There we go. Oh, and another one's coming. Yes, they're coming straight towards us. Phew. You have no idea how relieved I am. So we're just showing you where all the elephants are coming from. That one's coming from the back. We're being surrounded, but they're happy, and I don't mind being surrounded by elephants this morning. Yes, we can see. Oh, goodness gracious. Mary, you said that you love elephants. I cannot tell you how much I love elephants too. And I've been looking for them all morning. I've actually been looking for all sorts of animals. The lions, of course, disappointed me today. I'm very upset with them. I have to have a stern talking to one of the lionesses the next time I see them in Djuma Pride and ask them about their recent behavior of disappearing before we can spot them. And the elephants, though, I think they obviously feel my frustration with the cats at the moment, and they've been so kind and obliging and constantly showing themselves. Though we had to work a little bit harder today, but that's all right. Look at that. That elephant turned into 2. Wonderful. Oh my goodness! William, who is 7 years old, you said that you're having an elephant cake for your birthday tomorrow. Please, you have to ask your mum or your dad to send us a picture of your elephant cake, and they can hashtag Safari Live with that picture so we can all see, and then I'll wish you a birthday tomorrow, William. So I hope you either watch the sunrise or the sunset safari so that we can say a big happy birthday to you. That's very cool. Right, now I think, I'm putting it out there, Megan, I'd like an elephant birthday cake for my 25th birthday this year, please. If we can organise that, I'll be so excited. Can you imagine Amanda's going to make her first animal cake for a 25-year-old? I'll totally take that, though. I'll be so excited. I don't know why I've never had an elephant birthday cake before. William, you've just given me the best idea in the whole wide world, so thank you so much for that. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further forward. These elephants are slowly coming through here. I don't want to go down into the dip just yet. I think we might get a good view of them. Now, it seems as though I'm not the only one having luck with elephants. Ali has also got one. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? We'll have to find out.
It's a bit of a grumpy boy, so we're just going to read his behavior, see what's happening. He's a bit of a youngster, and he was giving us a bit of a hard time. But I think he's decided to be friendly now. And the other one now is giving him a hard time for being ugly. Thank you! Just 2 younger bulls. I'm sure the rest of the herd is not too far from where they are. I think the one at the back is just trying his luck. Oh, are you also going to pick up on bad habits now? Very beautiful ears. Very big. They normally open them like that just to try and make themselves look bigger, which I find ironic, as if they needed to do that to make themselves look bigger. They are already the biggest animal around. But they do it to try and intimidate us, to see if we back away. So with the younger bulls like this, it's a bit tricky because we want to show them that they cannot bully us around, or any other vehicle for that matter. And a lot of the time there's a lot of show and pretty much nothing else comes from it. I think he was actually feeling a bit jealous that the other one was the one putting on the show, and then he pushed him around, and now he's staring at us, looking at us with his very beautiful big eyelashes. But you're actually quite sleepy, aren't you? Hey! Oh, I don't like these games. Okay. Boys, be nice. We're gonna see what these boys get up to, and we'll monitor them closely. But let's go over to Taylor and see if her Ellies are a bit friendlier than ours.
Yes, we've got a very friendly little elephant walking towards us. He's so close. Hello. I'm just not going to move too much because I don't want to disturb this elephant. Are you very curious? How great is that? So close. And all on his own? Oh, I knew that you were going to do that. I knew you couldn't resist us, could you? Little Ellie. My new friend, everybody. What shall we call him? I don't know what we're going to call this elephant. But this is great. You are a very friendly little girl. Thank you. No, now she's running. That was funny. I thought that was a bit too good to be true, having a sighting like that. Like I said, that little girl was all on her own. There was just a couple of other youngsters, but they're still further off into the bushes. So the fact that she was able to come and walk right close up down that animal pathway, which you can see, and all the way towards us, and not be bothered at all. You know what? That's why they're my favorite animal. I literally could have reached out and touched that little girl. I'm not going to touch them. They're wild, of course. But that just shows you the amazing relationship that they have. Not even a little bit scared. Here comes another one. Maybe we're going to have the same thing happen. I'm actually going to turn in my seat and watch as the elephants approach. Let's see. Yes, I think we're going to have the same thing happen, to be honest. Mm-hmm. You feeling good, Sebastian? Are you ready? Here it comes. Now, I'm not sure what the response of this one's going to be. This looks like it's... Are you a young girl too? Well, the young females always always rev me a little bit. I don't know why. Whether it's just because they're going through that stage of their life where their hormones are all changing. But she's coming right here again. I'm actually just going to sit very quietly as she comes past us. Hello. Well, I'm going to say hello to her. You're very curious, aren't you? It's okay. No, relax. Relax, girl. She's very curious. So I'm not going to shout at her. She's not being aggressive in any way. She's just curious. I think maybe first time being around the car by herself, but they don't often get much time to investigate. Hello, off you go again. And there she goes. Happily just having a look. There's some more coming behind us. Let me reposition. What I'll do is if I just put my right hand down, we'll see there's another elephant just here, an older elephant, coming also right towards us, just down on the road. So it's amazing. It seems as though the adults have got the morning off from babysitting and the older siblings have just taken on the role of looking after the youngsters today. That's beautiful. Look at those incredible feet. Look how gentle they are when they walk too. Just every now and then, occasionally kicking up some sand. Hello. What are you going to do? You're not coming over to say hello, are you? Oh, maybe. Another young female, or older than the ones we saw. It's okay. Come and say hello. Very curious. See how she's playing with her trunk on the ground now, sort of pretending like she's doing something else, but in the meantime, she's really focused most of her attention on us. See that? That's the displacement behavior that we often talk about that bulls do. But of course, it's not uncommon for other female elephants to do it too. She is so close. Hello. Look at this. This is beautiful. It's okay, young lady. You can shake your head. I know that you don't mean much. Now, Mita, you said that this elephant wants to meet me. She does. I wish I could have stuck my arm out and shook her trunk. I think that would be the most polite way to greet an elephant, or perhaps to bow or curtsy. I would not know how to meet the giants of Africa. How would you greet a giant of Africa? Hey, Sebastian? Do you think, I feel like they're royalty. I feel like I may need to curtsy in front of them and then perhaps present them with a marula fruit.
Yes,
Look, she's coming back again. I know that you didn't finish. I can see that you're just pretending to feed. Now, elephant bulls are really the kings at performing this displacement behavior. Like exactly what she's doing. It looks like she's looking down on the grass. She's now going to pull a piece of grass up. Now, she can very easily rip that grass out. Yes, now eats. Now she's starting to settle down again. But typically what the big bulls will do is they'll pull up a piece of grass or maybe a branch and they put it in their mouth and then it drops to the floor. So they're not actually feeding, but they're making you think that they are feeding. And then they sneak up ever so closely. And before you know it, they're standing right over your car, towering you with their big tusks and their big ears. But not this girl. I think she's just a little bit on the inquisitive side. But what a fantastic morning this has actually turned out to be. Yes, fight that grass. And that's a good spot there. I think she's going to probably feed there for quite some time. The grass is still nice and green. Look at it. It's got that tinge to it. It hasn't got that golden look to it. Mary, you said that maybe she's just putting on a show. Well, just acting. I think so. A little bit of a prima donna, maybe. But that's fine. She's settled now and she's decided to hang around us, so I'm very happy with that. Oh, no, William. Now, this makes me sad. You said, do elephants have bullies like I have at school? That makes me so sad to hear that, William. I hope that nobody is bullying you. Otherwise, you tell them that you've got big friends like the elephants in South Africa, and they'll sort them out very, very quickly. I think definitely. So, William, what happens, I don't know if you actually know this, but we're looking at the female elephant, the girl elephant here. Now, the boy elephants, the males, when they start to get a little bit older, when they reach about 15 years old, so if they were in high school, they start to get a little bit naughty, and they get a little bit rough and aggressive, and they start to push and shove each other around like you and your friends play, but they get too rough. It's not fun, and it's not a game anymore, and all the moms get very cross because the bigger elephants, the older boys, will start pushing around the younger boys or pushing around the girls, and they don't like it, so they will shout and say, hey, leave me alone, and they don't listen, and they carry on, and then eventually the moms have to come in and sort the problem out, and eventually that leads to them being chased out of the herds completely, and then they have to go and live on their own. So that's what happens to the bullies with the elephants, is that when they do start causing all that nonsense, they have to leave the family. So we don't want that to happen. Right, the elephants have now moved off into the drainage line. Something else that I've been hearing since I've been sitting here, and I was talking about it to Sebastian, there's a greater honey guide calling about in the distance, but I haven't been able to spot it just yet, so that's quite exciting. Could be something on the cards. I'm going to see if we can maybe relocate on these elephants and maybe find a good spot to view them. I'm going to send you across now to Ali, and I think it's a bit early for breakfast, but she's on quarantine.
We are looking for the giraffe. We've decided to skip on breakfast for the time being, and those Ellie bulls, they eventually just calmed down and walked behind us and went into a very thick area. So we decided that they've been so good to us, just being a bit naughty and showing off, so might as well leave them to their own devices. But I can't find the giraffe. Apparently there was one somewhere around here, but not too sure. Yes, we are checking. Thanks, Megan, for the update. We are checking that exact same road that you were mentioning. But I think the giraffe is gone. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe, hopefully, it'll be going all the way onto the dam cam, or to the dam, so that we can see it drink. I love watching giraffe drinking. I always feel they're not meant to put their head down. It's just like such a big stretch and weird yoga position for them. I don't think they enjoy it more than any other animal. So let's make our way in that general direction, see if perhaps we get lucky. Maybe it's going there. Let's see. It's around here. Come on, giraffe, we're looking for you. No need to be afraid. No lions here today. No lions here for you. Whoop, whoop. Right, seems like the morning has been overall quiet for everyone around. Just the Nkuhumas have moved north. What is that? Oh, lots of hornbills looking for breakfast. All moving around here, but they're all on the ground. And they tend to spend quite a bit of time on the ground feeding. I wonder, are you gonna maybe find yourself a scorpion while you jump around there? I think he is on the hunt, definitely looking for anything that might be jumping. Maybe a little grasshopper, maybe another type of insect, maybe a beetle. It takes them quite a long time to start moving around, and I think you guys were watching one with Taylor earlier on. I don't think it is the same one. I think the one that she had was in a bit of a different area, But like all of the hornbills and all of the birds do, they're going to be spending a lot of time moving around and trying to catch breakfast, because now it's warm enough for them to do so. I'm sure they spent the first few hours of the morning just trying to warm up. It was a particularly chilly morning today. Are you going to get it? Maybe we'll see a kill. Mary, you say you love hornbills. We do too. They're very pretty little things. But I think this one is just getting out of our range of view. So let's head over to the dam that is not too far. There we go. Okay, we are going to make our way to the dam, see if we can find anything interesting there. But let's go over to Taylor, who's making friends with all the elephants.
Always trying to make friends with the elephants, Ellie. I feel like I belong with them, and I must have been an elephant in my previous life. But they are lovely. They're just hiding behind some bushes at the moment, but we're in exactly the same spot as we were yesterday, so they didn't feel the need to move far at all. And with this morning, of course, we were talking quite a bit about lions and how far they can travel, and Ali was telling you how much distance a lion can travel in one night. They nearly can't travel as far as an elephant, but it just shows you when there's enough food, when there's enough water around, you've got shelter, there's no need to go anywhere. So that's why I said I think we might get a third time lucky this afternoon if we come back to this area for the sunset safari. I think these Ellies will do a very, very similar thing. But they're just playing behind those trees. There's some nice sand. They'll be digging for water. There's a little one that keeps popping out every now and then. And there's a few more members that are coming down to join them. But I don't know if it is one family group. I think all those elephants we saw yesterday, I think they could be maybe 3 or 4 different smaller groups of elephants that have just come to a communal area where the food and where the water is in abundance. Hello, little one. You enjoying the sand there? It's also probably nice and warm on that sandy bank, but look at that. There's another elephant climbing on its back. Look at that. Another little one going, I'm just going to stand on you now and use this opportunity. So I think throughout the entire day, the elephants at their own pace will come here. They'll drink, they'll feed, cover themselves in sand, maybe have a mud bath, and then move off, which was really cool. And speaking of elephants having sand baths, there's one here. The one right on top of the bank. There's obviously my head. Sorry, let me back there. That one. Hello. Yes, we've just seen you. This is the same elephant girl that we greeted a moment ago that spent so much time around the car. Are you coming back? And I actually think that this could be the elephant that tried to throw a branch at me yesterday too. So while we were off air, we were sort of trapped between the elephants and some vehicles. Not in a bad situation, just I couldn't go anywhere because they were passing through. And this one young elephant cow, now that I think about it, was in this exact same spot. She picked up a guarri branch, which was just still there on the road, and she threw it at us. And she looks fairly similar. I think Craig may have recorded it, so I might go back today and have a look and see if she does look quite similar, sort of a similar size, just a small tusks. What you doing with your leg there? You just resting, or are you deciding if you're going to come charging towards me? Look at that trunk. It's very busy smelling the air. She's picking up scents. I think she's still wanting to come back and play with us. I think that's what's happening right now. Or she's enjoying the morning sun. I think she's got herself a good spot too. Yes. You coming to us? No? Going down. We can still see you if you hide behind that tree. You know that. You're not small enough to hide behind there. I don't know what she's doing now. She's going down the bank. Here she comes out. Hello, big girl. Mary, remember earlier you said that you reckon she's just performing? I think that's exactly it. I think she knows that she's live right now. Are you having a great time? Are you wanting to become the most famous elephant in the world? Well, if you carry on like that, if you perhaps stand on your back legs, you'll be well onto your way to becoming very famous. Mary, you said that she's a good-looking elephant, and you know what I've just seen? Look at the kink in that Ellie's tail. It's the same elephant as yesterday, because I still remember saying to Craig as she walked away from us when eventually she moved off, I said, Craig, look, she has a bend in her tail. So yes, it is. I can confirm right now. I don't even have to go back and watch the footage. This is the same elephant that was very curious around our car yesterday, though I feel like today is a better encounter with her. That's very distinct. That looks like it maybe broke at some point when she was younger, and it's just obviously healed in a crooked fashion. But that's all right. Don't worry. We won't judge you for that. That makes you unique. That adds character, elephant. Oh, that's so funny that she was still curious. But like I said, this morning's interaction with her was much better. She was not trumpeting. She was not sort of opening her ears and flaring them at us too much. She seemed to be a lot more relaxed around the cars. And again, yesterday when she was being a bit silly, I actually just ignored her. I didn't pay too much attention at all. I didn't really even raise my voice when she threw the little branch. I know she's young. She's just temperamental. And we've seen this cow twice now too. She was the one cow yesterday morning on the sunrise safari. Just looking at her tusks, the one on the right is much longer and they're quite straight too than her tusk on the left. She came charging over to the Balanites tree, and I got a fright because I thought she was coming towards us. But the elephants had just spoken in their language, in a form that we can't always understand, and said that they're delicious fruits, you better hurry up. And they raced over. So that's really nice. So we've seen this herd 3 times now. Yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, and now this morning, and when we will go for a 4th time. I could spend all 3 hours of the safari just following breeding herds of elephants around and sitting and watching them and learning. And that is the only way to try and understand what elephants do every single day, is just by observing them. And especially like this, we're actually quite far away from them. We've given them a big gap. We must be about 60, 70 meters away from them at least. Just watching in the distance. So they're acting very natural too. They're not bothered by us at all. They're actually completely ignoring us. Oh, she herded that little one out the way. She's obviously come in for a drink now. But I'm going to send you across to Ali. She has got something much smaller than these large elephants.
We have got indeed something that would perhaps even scare an elephant, because it looks like a mouse, but it's not a mouse, it's the dwarf mongoose. We've managed to find this little clan, and they all seem to just have been starting their day. All of them sunning themselves, starting to groom themselves. Oh, maybe there's a bit of an itch there. Cleaning themselves up, and then just getting their day started. Are you going to help? I think all of them, they're just coming out of what seems to be the air vents or the funnels for a termite mound. Because sometimes the big termite mounds that we see, or most of the times for the ones that grow the fungus, they have these long canals where they use to control the amount of air that comes in and out of the termite mound, just to regulate the temperature inside. And I'm sure this is what these ones over here have been using as their home for the last little while. Hello. Yeah, one of them definitely came out of there, and we can see different sizes. Oh, there's another one. A bunch of youngsters coming out. Just starting the day. Aren't you guys lucky that you start moving around in winter only when it's warm enough? Lara, you're saying these are the marvelous mongoose. Too bad it's not the marvelous mongoose for me. That would have been quite funny. But no. They are marvelous, aren't they? Tiny little creatures, always moving around, always up to something. And they're always entertaining to watch whenever you find them. And I think these ones are, maybe they're a bit distracted by the sun and enjoying it so much. And they're actually letting us have a closer look at them, at their daily routine. Look at that. Yeah, you've got something there that's not right. Let me help you. I will help you. Oh, isn't that sweet? Helping each other. Trying to get rid of any tiny mite or tick or anything that they may have. Even fleas on top of them. Oh, somebody's hiding behind somebody else's tail. Are you going to start looking for food now? Well, we've got a braver one somewhere around. You see, they're gonna start, now as it starts warming up, moving around, starting to look for food. I'm sure their bellies are rumbling already and they're starting to get hungry. So as they move around, They will always, however, have to keep an eye out, and they're not too far from the holes or from their safe place. So if there's anything around that they see that they're not too sure of, they would start making an alarm call, and very quickly everyone would retreat back into the holes, back into safety, just to make sure that they don't get eaten by anything. Because where they are now, they're still easy prey for pretty much anything. We could have maybe smaller cats, but at this time of the day I have a feeling that the thing that they have to worry about the most are eagles flying around. Hello. Meat, you say like that they are like meerkats. Yes, they're very similar to meerkats. Meerkats have very similar behavior, but meerkats are about twice the size of this ones over here, and we don't see them in this area. Meerkats normally live in more desert areas. There we go. Managed to keep up with one of them. They're all running around and moving. I wonder if they fancy crickets for breakfast, or if they prefer to have some beetles. Or what are you looking for? I don't think you found breakfast yet. There's another one running. Hiding behind the mound. Come on. Be brave. There we go. We will carry on spending some time with one of the smallest creatures around here, but in the meantime, let's go to Taylor and see how the friendly giants are doing.
Well, we've still got one of the larger cows. She's digging about at the moment, and her calf is just standing at her side, trying to stick its trunk into the water that'll be coming up from underneath the ground. And I keep listening to everything that's going around at the moment, so I do apologize if I sound distracted, because I know there's a lot of you that have just started bird lists. So I've heard the Greater Honey Guide. I've also heard Retz's helmet shrikes, and we saw the Retz's helmet shrikes, so they could potentially be 2 new birds. They're not necessarily ones that we see on a regular basis. So if they do come back around here, I'm going to draw your attention away from these beautiful elephants and try and add some new birds to the list too. And if I hear them call, we'll see if you guys can hear them. And so both of them have got beautiful calls. But our friends the elephants are very busy now, sort of standing in the dappled light. Oh, have a little listen. Could you hear that, Sebastian?
Kind of.
There was a strange gurgling noise in the background. I thought they were going to call again. Those are the Retz's helmet shrikes that you can hear. That call. I don't even know how to do it. It's impossible to do it as a human. They're flying away. Okay, well, at least you got to hear them. You may have been able to hear them if you had your volume turned up quite a bit. But again, maybe they'll be around this afternoon and we'll get an opportunity to see them. But these elephants are being so sweet. Of course, that little one is not doing any of the work. Mom is doing all the hard work. And I think she keeps nudging her offspring away, sort of with her feet. Very gently, just sort of tapping them and saying, right, move off. I'm an expert at doing this. And then just quickly, as soon as Mom is trying to spray out all that very muddy water, quickly goes down to have a drink. Little does that one know that that is not the delicious, tasty water that Mom is getting to yet. You can see it's not covered in sand, too. So we watched this the other day, where the adults will redig the wells, and they will use the same wells over and over. Obviously, they're quite easy to get to. But it does take a bit of time and a bit of patience to try and get rid of all that horrible muddy water until the nice fresh stuff comes down. Actually, it seems as though she took a drink too, so she must have got to the water that she wanted. How great is this? Very, very, very intimate shot there that you've got, Sebastian. That framing just says so many different things. It just shows you the tightly knit bonds that a mother has with her calf, and also it just shows you how patient they are. So yeah, she's gently sort of saying, just wait, I'm going to suck up the horrible stuff. There you go, see, spraying it out, and then quickly have a drink. And then the little one sticks its head down, because it knows once that older, muddier water is sprayed out, and then that fresh upwelling will come, and you can quickly have a sip of the crystal clear water. It's almost crystal clear. I love that. See how patient she is. She sprays it out, the little one has a drink, and then she goes in afterwards to have a drink. So she lets her calf drink first. That's not always the case, though, I can tell you right that. I think just like it is with humans, there are definitely some elephant cows that are a lot more patient and tolerant with youngsters, because we've seen it a number of different times where it seems as though the elephant has lost its personality, or lost its sense of humor, and just not interested in putting up with the antics of young naughty elephants. Off you go down. Oh, there's more in the distance. Now, Chatty, you're wondering if elephants will normally grow to the same size, I think, as their parents. Can you repeat that again? Oh, elephant tusks. It depends, I suppose, on genetics from the bull side and from the cow side. Tusks at all. But you can see, look at that. You see that cow? See how one tusk is much shorter? The right tusk is much shorter than the left tusk. Now, I think what's happened there is I think that this elephant is obviously left-handed, if you will. So she's using that left tusk a lot more than she is the right tusk. You can see the tip that I think once was on the left tusk, is completely worn down. There's quite a bit more damage, visible damage. So she's obviously using that, and that's amazing. And when you do have an opportunity to look at elephants and they are standing relatively still, you can notice things like that. But I think that tusk on the left would have been a little bit shorter anyways than the one on the right. They don't necessarily have to be the same length. Sometimes they'll only even have, like I said, no tusk, and sometimes they can have one massive tusk. I've seen some really big elephant bulls with just one enormous one. But still pretty amazing that they're able to grow those things and then use them as tools. I think that is so special. But very, very calm. I'm about to fall asleep in the sighting in the sun with the peaceful elephants. And it's actually quite evident because you can just see how green the vegetation is compared to everything else. So that just shows you. So if you're in the sky, you look down, say, on a particular area, if you see a green belt running through a very, very dry region, then you know that there's a drainage line or a small river course, or the water table is fairly high around there. And if you get lost, that's something that you want to follow as well. You want to find water, but little streams and rivers normally lead to a settlement of some kind. So it's also good as a survival tactic to know these things. So the elephants, of course, know them very well. And then they'll come through and dig. Sometimes I don't think they get it right. I'm sure maybe, especially as a young elephant, while they're learning, they might dig 2 or 3 holes before they successfully find the right spot where the water is going to come to the surface as quick as possible. Obviously, they don't want to have to dig down, 5 meters or however deep an elephant can dig and then get nothing. They want to be able to just, kick away for maybe 20 minutes.
Sorry guys, maybe too much fun with Ellie's made the gremlins jealous, but don't worry, I'm sure Taylor will be fine. And in the meantime, you are with us. We are still looking for anything. I believe the lions came roughly from this area in the morning, so I just wanted to come around and see if perhaps the animals, or how long it would take them to come back to a certain area after they've had their biggest predator around here. Now, I would say maybe only by this afternoon. I had hoped that it would have been a bit faster, and we've been doing some birding along the way, but obviously now that we want to show you guys, they've all flown away. But nonetheless, this is the area also where we had that button quail the other day, so I'm hoping maybe we'll be able to see it a bit better, or maybe we'll hear it calling. That is quite something coming from such a little bird. But it's starting to warm up quite nicely now, and I'm sure by this afternoon there'll be no clouds up in the sky. Well, there are a few around still, but I'm sure they will go away. What is this that we have? We've had some zebra walking in this direction. So let's go and see if perhaps we can find some zebra. I'm gonna try and find a pretty track to show you, because to me they are very funny tracks. It almost looks like, I don't know why, when I learned them, or when they first started doing the training, they were like, oh, they look like a little frog. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the frog. I certainly don't see it. No, this is not. Now we've got some water buck walking around here. All sorts of things have been walking around here. I wonder. They don't seem to be running. They were walking down the road, so I'm sure it's been long after the lions have been around. Maybe. Alright. It's funny how you drive in certain parts of the reserve, and then certain areas that are a bit higher up or higher on the ground, they seem to be already a lot drier than the ones maybe closer to where you can find underground water. So it's always a good indication, just looking around and seeing what your environment around you looks like, to have a bit more of an idea of where some of the animals might be. But again, there are some animals that prefer the grass that is slightly longer. And now we have giraffe tracks. Lots of things have been walking around here. Sorry, I would show you guys the tracks, but they're all quite ugly, not easy to see. So whenever we find a pretty one that we can see under some decent light, then I'll be more than happy to show it to you guys. But lots of things have been walking down here. Like I said, we've had tracks for water bog, tracks for zebra, tracks for giraffe. I wonder if that giraffe that I was trying to find didn't actually come all the way here before we even had a chance to see it. Let's see. Let's see. Whoop, whoop. A little bend in the road. Okay, giraffe. We've been looking for you for quite a while. Where are you? I think maybe the giraffe is going to be the challenge to find now. The tallest animal of them all. Maybe some water buck? Not around here. How unfriendly of you all. But you see the weather, and this is why we've had such strange sightings the last few days. If you guys look straight ahead of us, you see all those clouds building up in the distance. So the weather has been on and off like that. Some of them we saw yesterday when the moon was rising, and they're all over. So I don't think this stormy weather is quite gone yet. We have some more to the east, and I wonder if we're gonna get some strange rains, because I believe that the storms in Cape Town are still raging and still going down there, and everything that eventually goes down there, it comes all the way up here, and then it affects us as well. So perhaps this is just the beginning of the clouds starting to arrive all the way up here. Who knows, maybe the animals will get lucky and they'll have a bit of odd timed rain, but I think the weather lately has just been quite unpredictable. And I think even yesterday Taylor, we couldn't believe that she was wearing shorts, and she said that for once her legs were quite cold. I think she was very brave to wear those shorts in that weather yesterday. I was freezing the whole day. I even had to put gloves during the afternoon drive, because I felt like my fingers were going to freeze and fall off. What have we got here? Beautiful scenery. Not even impalas, and they're normally around this area. Lost the giraffe. Cannot find the tracks for the giraffe anymore, but I'm sure it's been here somewhere. Maybe it'll be hiding further into the bushes. A jackal would be nice too, don't you guys think so? Jackal. Jackals would be great, I agree. But we haven't been able to see one. I actually haven't seen. There was a pair that used to live around this area, and we used to see them often driving into Djuma, but I haven't seen them for a while. So I wonder if maybe they've moved into also a bit of a thicker area, or if they've left us altogether. So I think it was Tristan that had that sighting of the jackal making friends with the impala. So who knows, maybe actually the jackal has gone absolutely crazy and believes it's an impala and is running free with them. Can you guys imagine a confused jackal? More hyena tracks. Seems like everyone was up and about last night. I don't think I've seen so many tracks on all of these roads as I have this morning. All of them moving. Let's see. Maybe we'll be able to get rewarded with something else. Carnage, you're wondering what's the hottest and coldest it can get. Well, it can vary, and obviously it will not happen all in one day, but in between seasons, I think the coldest that I have ever been here was further south, close to the rivers where it gets a bit colder, was about -4 the one morning, and it was horrible. I was so cold. I don't think I've ever been so cold in my life. And the hottest that I've ever been here was actually 2 years ago, where we had, I think it was 52 on the shade, and this is Celsius. And my god, like sometimes when it's feel this warm breeze just flying and you can feel it, it's almost like burning your eyes. It gets very extreme and not pleasant. I think this is why I like this time of the year, because I can still deal with the cold, and I think we all can. And then during the day it gets nice and hot. I mean, the past few days, if you've been watching, the temperature has been going pretty much from maybe 12-13 degrees in the morning all the way up to 26-29 during the day. So it's quite a big variation of temperatures that we have around here. And the current temperature, thank you Max, it's 64 and 18. And when we started this morning, I think it was 13 or 12. So it's gone up already by a few degrees. And we are feeling a lot better. Anything around here? Any chameleons? Maybe we'll spot a chameleon during the day. Wouldn't that be cool? Just to have a bit of a different view. Daniel, you're wondering what the rarest animal is over here. Well, quite a few, but perhaps the hardest one to see is a creature called the pangolin, which is roughly the size of a tennis ball, like the soccer ball. They can get about this big, and they roll up into a ball to protect themselves, but they actually can be quite long, maybe about this long, and they look like a miniature T-Rex. They're also known as the scaly anteater. It's the only scaled mammal in the world, and the reason why it's so rare, it's because it's the most trafficked mammal in the world, and it only comes out at night. So not only are the humans getting to it, and we're trafficking it and killing it for traditional medicinal purposes, but also you don't find them so easily out in the bush. So it's always a bit of a dichotomy to me. I don't understand how all these people manage to find them when we look for them so hard every day, and we don't always see them. I have never seen one in the Sabi-san. I have seen them before, but the last one I saw was about 5 years ago. And I believe yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the reserves further south, they were very lucky and they managed to see one. And everyone was very happy and jealous at the same time. It's too many emotions mixed. So I think maybe that's the one, the rarest one, the ultimate prize. And funny enough, there are many guides that in their whole guiding careers they've never managed to see one. There are certain areas where they're a bit more common, but in some other areas they're a lot harder to see. So funny enough, a lot of people or the rangers joke around that they're not really real, but you know, the common name is a hallucination of pangolins because we never see them. Alright, we will carry on looking for pangolin. We'll let you know if we come right, but let's go over to Taylor and see if she's still with the elephants.
We were indeed. The gremlins kept catching us out, unfortunately. I have a suspicion, though, if we go back there this afternoon, we'll be lucky enough. I think, though, Ali. Although Tristan's back, guys. I forgot to tell you, Tristan's back this afternoon. How exciting is that? I'm sure you've all missed him very, very much. Byron will be back soon too, I think in the next week or so, maybe just a little bit longer. So I'm not sure who's all going to be driving this afternoon. I would like to drive this afternoon because I want to see elephants again. And maybe Tristan brings back his cat luck.
Alright, hello again. We haven't been able to find a pangolin. I apologize for the gremlins attacking Taylor. I think maybe they heard that Tristan was coming back and they all got scared and they think they can be bullies to us because we are girls. But we'll show them that that's not the case. So yes, Tristan is coming back sometime today, I believe. I'm sure he's also itchy to come and start driving around and see all of the animals and all the creatures around. He has been very jealous of what we've been seeing in the time that he's been away. And I think very jealous is an understatement, and I can't wait to show him more photos just so that he knows exactly what he's seeing. But I'm sure he'll be able to find his own things, and I'm sure he's going to be very keen to start tracking all sorts of animals once more. We have not found one impala on Impala Plains, which is always an irony because they're supposed to be here. But I shall... Oh, what is that? Oh, it's just a leaf. I thought maybe it was a rare green bird by the way that the light was shining on it, but no. I got excited. It was nothing. I was even thinking, it's like, oh, it's a bird I've never seen before. Yes, of course it is, because I imagined it. Just lots of... Start heading back home. It's roughly about time after a very cold morning. I think needed in her. But let's go to Leela, who's driving about.
I found my heron. Look at my heron. Sorry that I lost you just a moment ago. And I can't believe it. It's actually standing so still. This is now a beautiful view. We've got the sun perfectly lighting up this heron with, of course, the lovely blue water and a bit of grass. That is a stunning view. We're always so zoomed in to catch this heron. It's not the most relaxed heron I've ever come across. It seems to react not in the best way to the vehicles, but we just popped up through the dip just on the eastern side of the dam, and I hit brakes so hard that I thought Sebastian was going to end up in the front seat with me, but he didn't. And in all that, he still managed to get the shot. So there we go. Well done. That is so beautiful. So what I was saying earlier, I was saying that Tristan is obviously back on safari this afternoon, so I'm sure that you're all very excited to see him. And, you know, it's really nice to have Ali and Tristan around because they bring all the cat luck, and I think that's the only reason why we keep them about. No, I'm only just joking, of course. I'm only teasing. I have a wonderful relationship with Tristan and Ali, and I think it's so nice that they've become part of the family so quickly. And that's what I love about Wild Earth, is that we take anybody that arrives and we sort of stand there with arms open, welcoming anybody to our team, which is really nice. It's a fantastic company. We are just one big happy family. But we've had a very exciting drive. We've had lions coming out of our ears from Kenya, and of course we had one of the Birminghams with Ali too. Lots and lots of elephants, a couple birds, hopefully a few new ones for all of you too. But again, it's warming up. It's time to take those layers off. Myself and Seb have now defrosted and we are ready for breakfast. I don't know what Amanda's cooked up for us in that kitchen, but I'm sure it will be delicious. Thank you to all of you, and we'll see you this afternoon for the Sunset Safari.